so I'm sitting there looking at this boat on eBay, and I think, well, what do I do? You know, because you don't want to think, oh, to buy something that you're not meant to have and then fall into a lot of trouble with it. So I thought, well, what I normally do is I normally wait till the end of the auction and I put a bid in right at the end, and that's how I buy my computers. And so normally somebody at the end of the auction comes and somebody's waiting. If somebody wants it, they'll do the same thing. And so I thought, well, I'll send a message to the guy. I thought, well, what I'll do is I won't bid on it. I say, you know, I could bid on it. It was on for 900. I could put a bid in for 900 and get it for that. You know, but I thought I don't want to do that and then you know, find that I've jumped in and got, you know, I wanted to wait and see that nobody else wanted it, because that's a sign that maybe it's for me. You know, because boats are very personal things, and once you have a boat, it's a lot of work. It's a long time relationship with this thing. And so what I did was I sent a message to the person who was advertising it. It was it looked like it was a boatyard, you know, somebody who was a proper boat builder and knew his stuff. And so I thought, I'll send him a message and see if he's interested in, you know, if it gets passed in, to talk about, you know, doing a YouTube channel on it and making a project out of it to restore this thing, to put it back to work. Because I do documentaries. I haven't done any documentary work for a long time, so this is the first thing I've done for ages, and I'm still getting used to the equipment again. It's all new equipment, so I'm starting to find out where all the buttons are and everything. It's a bit difficult. So anyway. So yeah, he sent a reply. I sent a message to him. He sent a reply. I said, no, it says, that sounds good. And so I thought, well, we'll just have to wait and see if it passed. I mean, at this point, I could have, you know, just waited. And I don't see my friend David. David normally brings me food from Hereford every month, but he hadn't come this time. It was weeks and weeks and weeks late. You know, it should have been here weeks ago, and he hadn't contacted me, nothing. And so just that day, he'd phoned to say that he was coming, you know, he could get me some food, and so he was coming through. And so it was funny, and I was waiting for the auction to finish, and the timing of it, it was only like 10 minutes to go, and there's a knock on the door, there's David coming, and David's really intuitive, you know, he's right switched on. I thought, well, this is a sign, because I don't get visitors here at all, I'm stuck here by myself. David comes, this is the first time I've seen anybody knock on the door for ages. And so I said, David, you know, I'm looking at this boat, come and have a look at this. And so he sat with me and we watched the thing go down and nobody bidded on it. So I said to David, I said to him, I said, if nobody bids on this boat, he says, I think it's for me. I told him that I wanted to turn it into a project and you know, go over there and maybe get people interested. And also it's good, you know, you can't sail, you don't want to sail on your own, you want other people involved, and lots of people sail on their own. It's a waste, really. And so I thought, if I can get some other people interested, maybe take a few donations on Patreon or something like that, if I need any extra money to finish it properly. And then, you know, by the time it's finished, it might take a year, maybe even longer. By the time it's finished, the people are all kind of into it, been watching the videos and that, and then they'll want to come and help you sail it, and you can do day trips, you know, whilst you're getting to learn that, make sure the boat's all right and everything. And after you've done a bit of that, you're sick of that and everything's working fine, and the people are all trained up to be able to sail the thing, then you can sail it right round England. And it's just an idea, you know. I mean, I get quite emotional about it, really, because, you know, the thought of being able to do this instead of to be stuck in here, you know. Terrible, really. Anyway, I'll show you some pictures of the last boat I had. I'll show you that boat. Yeah, so here she is. This was a 24-foot motor cruiser, and what happened with this one was I bought it like this, and I had to deliver it 500 miles up the coast, and I got sort of part way there, and the engine packed up on me, and I got stuck on this island for months and months and months. It was, I had to get a tow, 200-mile tow eventually to get off. I tried to fix the engine on board, but you know, the parts were never getting there, and so in the end I just had to give up on this engine. And so the only thing left to do was, I didn't have any money to put another engine in, so I thought, well, I'll convert it into a sailing boat. And so that's what I did. I'll show you the next picture. I've just got some pictures of it when I just started, so I'll show you that one. Yeah, so yeah, I moved it off its mooring. I moved it out to a suitable place here, and you can see I've just got a bit of bamboo here. I'm just trying to weighing up how I can put a mast on the thing, where the mast will fit. Just starting here to convert it into a sailing boat. And so this is the first, you can see the first attempt at seeing if it'll sail at all. And it's just got a bamboo mast there and a square rig sail. It was actually just a tent, an army tent tarpaulin, German army it was, that I'd had with me. So I used that first, but in the end I had loads and loads of masts on this thing, and loads of sails. I had a bowsprit on the end of it, and you know, I just used what I could find locally, some tarpaulin, plastic tarpaulin, good quality plastic tarpaulin, and I managed to get this thing sailing about 5 or 6 knots was the maximum it would do, and it wouldn't sail into the wind at all, but you just had to go with the flow. And I sailed it all over the place, you know, with no motor, no nothing, and it did have, I don't know whether you can see, you can't really see, but I put a solar panel on the roof, and it had 2 big batteries in there, and I pulled all the pistons out and everything so that the starter motor would still turn the propeller, and you could push the starter button and you get about 3 or 4 minutes of power. You could just push it along at maybe 3 knots, and so get yourself out of trouble. So if you're going to hit into a rock or couldn't quite make it around the headland or something like that, you could resort to this. And it did save the boat a couple of times, having the electric starter motor there. But anyway, in the end, I built a big rudder on the back. It needed a rudder, large rudder, and I actually made the rudder. I made 2 of them. The first one I made, I felt it was a bit small, but it wasn't. It was right, and I doubled the size of the rudder, and then I took it on a long trip, and the rudder came off in a storm, and the boat was lost. Yeah, it was my fault because I made the rudder too big. I should have realised that the idea for size I had in the beginning was right. In fact, you probably could have sailed it without a rudder, but you know, I was just trying to be too perfection. I wanted it to be able to sail into the wind, which of course a thing like this can't do that. But I did learn a lot doing it, and you know, I felt that it was a really worthwhile project to start from nothing and see how do you make a boat sail. Yeah, so that was an interesting project. And this, I think, these photos are from 2011, and so that's how long ago it is. And I lived on board this boat probably for the best part of a year. Very small boat to live on board, but I had a wonderful time. And yeah, and since then I haven't had a boat, so it'd be quite good to get back into it again. Yeah, here's some pictures of the inside of the boat. These were some people that came visited me, and they were able to take some pictures of me in the boat. But you can see over here and over here, I'm just fitting, I haven't painted it yet, but I've just been fitting, I've been building in the back of the boat so it's completely waterproof, it's like a hatchway, so that so you can completely close it up and seal it up like a lifeboat if you're in a storm or something like that. And so it's completely sealed, and the boat could even turn over upside down, and you wouldn't come to any harm, you know, it wouldn't take on water. And so that was part of the work artwork that I was working on when these pictures were taken, and some of the inside. And this is this picture of me inside the boat. You can see the bed at the back there, and yeah, there's beautiful steering wheel, and classic it was. I think also from the 1960s, this boat, and yeah, and very small. There's a small GPS over here. This is to run the engine from the accelerator. It's quite a nice piece of equipment. But as I say, the boat, here's the engine over here, and it took up a lot of space, and so it would have been better just to have taken the engine out completely, but there you go. Okay. Yeah, there's a better picture of the wheelhouse there. You get a bit more of an idea of quite cozy it was inside. It didn't cost very much to fit it out. There's a small VHF radio and so on. Yeah, okay.